I paid a heavy price for not recognizing the early signs. Mornings filled with choking, endless throat clearing, and a constant feeling that something was wrong. I thought it was just age. I was wrong. And today I'm going to share with you what I wish I had known sooner, before it stole years of comfort from my life. Have you ever wondered why, despite doing everything right, your mornings still begin with discomfort? Not pain exactly, something more subtle, something sticky, a thickness in your throat, a need to cough, to clear, to swallow again and again, as if your body is trying to rid itself of a secret. You sit at the edge of your bed, coffee in hand, and before you've even had your first sip, you're already apologizing to yourself, to the silence, to whoever might be nearby, for the noise your lungs are about to make. Again, what if I told you that this isn't normal, that it's not just part of getting older? What if I told you that your body is waving a red flag quietly, persistently, hoping you'll pay attention? And what if the answers you've been missing aren't found in another pill or another shrug from the doctor, but in the smallest, most overlooked corners of your daily life? Thanks for joining us here on Voice of Age, a warm space for real talk about life, health, and heart in our later years. What we're about to explore might not only give you clarity, it might help you reclaim your mornings. Because that thick mucus, that raspy cough, that invisible thing that's been stealing the first moments of your day, it's not without a cause. In fact, it's often the result of conditions that are entirely manageable, if only we're willing to ask the right questions and make the smallest changes. Before we dive in, take a second to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. Your support helps us continue creating powerful, thoughtful content to support your health and your journey through these incredible later years of life. Let's begin. Most people think aging is loud, that it comes with big moments, hospital visits, life changes, things that shake your world. But for many of us, it starts with something far quieter, the subtle shift of how we wake up, a dry tickle in the throat, a cough that lingers, that sensation of gunk that won't quite clear. And we tell ourselves, it's just age. We laugh it off, we hide it, we let it chip away at the peace we once felt in our early mornings. But here's the truth. Aging doesn't have to mean accepting discomfort as inevitable. That mucus, that cough, is often your body's way of asking for help, of pointing towards something deeper, something environmental, something physical, something absolutely real. This first step in our journey today is about recognition. The recognition that waking up every day in a battle with your own body is not just a quirky part of getting older. It's not random. It's not meaningless. And most importantly, it's not unchangeable. In the next few minutes, we'll dive into 5 of the most common and often hidden reasons older adults wake up every morning needing to clear their throats. These aren't vague theories. They're medically backed explanations rooted in how the body changes with age, how our environment interacts with us, and how our habits, however small, either support or sabotage our well-being. And it all begins with that first clue your body gives you as the sun comes up. So, if you've been living with morning mucus, if you've felt frustrated or confused or even a little embarrassed, this is your moment. Not to accept it, but to finally understand it. And from there, to gently, intentionally begin shifting your mornings back into your hands. Stay with me. What we're about to uncover might be the beginning of your most peaceful mornings yet. It's strange how something so invisible, so seemingly harmless, can have such a powerful effect on our well-being. Air. We don't see it. We don't touch it. Yet, every breath we take is shaped by it. And as we get older, the quality of the air around us becomes more than just a background detail. It becomes a source of either healing or harm. And for many older adults, it's one of the most overlooked contributors to that relentless morning mucus. You might assume that mucus is something the body produces only when you're sick or congested. But the truth is, your body also makes mucus when it's trying to protect itself, especially when the air you're breathing is too dry. That dry air can come from many places. The heater you run on cold nights, the air conditioner that hums through summer, even the tightly sealed windows that keep the outside world at bay. All of it pulls moisture from the environment and from you. As we age, our mucous membranes naturally lose some of their ability to retain moisture. The tissues inside our nose, throat, and lungs, become more fragile, more sensitive to change. When the air is too dry, your body responds as best it can by producing more mucus in an attempt to soothe the irritation, to compensate for the dryness, to guard the delicate linings that no longer defend themselves as well as they used to. But this reaction, meant to protect, can turn against us. The mucus becomes thick, sticky, hard to clear. It doesn't move the way it once did. It settles in the throat, clings to the lungs, and becomes the very thing that causes us to cough, to gag, to start our day in discomfort. And worse, it's easy to misread the source. We blame food. We blame age. We rarely pause to ask, what if the air in my home is the problem? The stories are everywhere once you start to look. A man who tried everything, cutting out dairy, changing his diet, even switching toothpaste, but still woke up each morning with a throat full of phlegm, until someone suggested he try a humidifier. Not medicine, not surgery, just moisture in the air. Within a week, the difference was undeniable. His mornings became quieter, his throat clearer, his mood lighter. These kinds of changes aren't dramatic, they're not glamorous, but they are powerful. And they're available to you right now. Adding a small humidifier to your bedroom. Placing a bowl of water near your heater. Opening a window for just 10 minutes each morning to let fresh air in. These aren't radical acts, but when done consistently, they can change everything. And don't forget hydration. Not just during the day, but before bed and first thing in the morning. A glass of water can make a bigger difference than you imagine. Our bodies, especially as we grow older, need help maintaining the balance they once managed so effortlessly. Dry air tips that balance out of place. But you can tip it back, gently, mindfully, with choices you make at home. Still, this isn't just about breathing. It's about how it makes you feel. The frustration of clearing your throat in the middle of breakfast, the awkwardness of a phone call interrupted by a sudden cough, the quiet shame of avoiding social gatherings because you don't want to be the one who's always clearing their throat. It chips away at confidence, little by little. But it doesn't have to be that way. If your body is reacting to the air you breathe, then changing that air can be the first step to changing how you feel. Not just physically, but emotionally. Because feeling good in your body shouldn't be rare. It should be your starting point. And sometimes, all it takes is remembering that air, the most invisible part of our lives, is also one of the most powerful. There's a quiet kind of frustration that builds when your body no longer responds the way it used to. You eat the same meals, sleep at the same times, follow the same routines, and yet your mornings feel different. Heavier, stickier. Your voice is hoarse. You're clearing your throat again and again before the sun has fully risen. At first, you chalk it up to age, or maybe something you ate. But over time, the pattern becomes undeniable. Something has shifted. And still, the cause remains elusive. One of the lesser-known culprits behind persistent morning mucus lies in a place few people consider. A small ring of muscle at the base of your esophagus, known as the lower esophageal sphincter. It's a gatekeeper of sorts, keeping stomach acid where it belongs. But like many other parts of the body, this muscle weakens with age. And when it does, it opens the door for silent acid reflux, a condition that doesn't feel like heartburn. Yeah, doesn't come with the warning signs we expect. And yet, leaves a trail of irritation throughout the throat, especially during the night. You lie down to sleep, and gravity, once your quiet ally, no longer keeps acid in place. Tiny amounts of acid creep upward, touching the base of your throat, sometimes even reaching your vocal cords. You don't feel burning. You don't feel pain. But your body feels it. It responds the only way it knows how, by producing mucus to protect, to neutralize, to repair. This form of reflux is silent, but its impact is anything but. You wake up feeling like your throat is coated. You speak, and your voice sounds strange, unfamiliar. You may even feel a lump that isn't there, and because the symptoms are vague, you look elsewhere for answers. You treat your lungs. You try lozenges. You avoid cold drinks, but nothing changes because the root cause is happening out of sight and out of awareness. And then there are the habits we develop, not out of carelessness, but out of routine. We eat dinner late because the day ran long. We snack while watching TV, then head straight to bed. We assume these choices are harmless, but for a body already adjusting to the slower rhythms of age, these small behaviors add up. They create the perfect environment for reflux to thrive. The good news is that these patterns can be gently reversed. Small, mindful changes can give your body the support it needs. Try eating your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. Elevate the head of your bed by a few inches so gravity can help keep acid where it belongs. Avoid acidic or spicy foods late in the day. Tomatoes, citrus, chocolate. Not forever, but enough to give your throat a break. Sip herbal teas like ginger or chamomile after dinner instead of heavier snacks that demand more from your digestion. These aren't extreme solutions. They're adjustments rooted in self-awareness, in respect for the changes your body is moving through. And they work not by fighting your body, but by cooperating with it. More than anything, this is about restoring your sense of ease. It's about waking up with a clear throat, speaking without hesitation, breathing without that sticky weight holding you back. It's about understanding that the discomfort you've accepted isn't just aging. It's a response to something real. And the power to ease that response lies in your hands, your choices, your care. You are not helpless. You are not meant to endure every symptom in silence. You're allowed to ask why something feels wrong, and you're allowed to change the answer. Not with force, but with gentleness, with consistency, with the kind of attention that doesn't just fix, but honors the wisdom your body is offering, even when it speaks in whispers. There's something quietly discouraging about waking up each day already feeling off balance. Your throat coated, your breath labored, your first words swallowed in a cough. And yet, for so many older adults, this has become a routine, not by choice, but by resignation. You begin to believe this is just how mornings are now, something you have to tolerate, something that comes with age. But that's a lie we've been told too often, and one that costs us more than comfort. It costs us the belief that we can feel good again. The truth is, your environment matters. The air you breathe, the way you sleep, the foods you eat before bed, all of it shapes how your body feels when it wakes. And so does the mindset you bring to it. When you treat your symptoms as messages instead of annoyances, everything changes. Your body is not betraying you. It's communicating with you. The morning mucus, the persistent throat clearing, they're not random. They are your body's way of saying, something needs care here. You don't need complicated machines or prescriptions to begin that care. A humidifier, a higher pillow, an earlier dinner, a glass of water before sleep. These small shifts are how healing begins. And with each day that you choose to pay attention, to adjust, to respond with kindness rather than frustration, you step closer to the version of morning that you deserve. One that feels quiet, clear, and wholly your own. You are not too old to feel better. You are not meant to suffer in silence. Sometimes, the greatest relief doesn't come from doing more, but from finally listening to what your body's been trying to say all along. There's a quiet dignity in learning to listen to your body, not through dramatic warning signs, but through the soft, persistent discomforts we've grown used to ignoring. Morning mucus, coughing fits, the clearing of the throat before your first word of the day. These aren't just minor annoyances. They are messages. Subtle, but powerful. And the most life-changing thing we can do as we age is to stop brushing them aside and start asking, what are you trying to tell me? The journey we've taken together in this video has shown us something deeper than symptom and solution. It's revealed a truth that many forget with time. The body may grow older, but it never stops speaking. It whispers through irritation, tension, dryness, tightness, all asking for adjustments, not punishment, not more effort, but more attention. And when we begin to respond with small, thoughtful changes, elevating a pillow, sipping warm tea, creating a humid bedroom space, eating dinner a bit earlier, we aren't just managing mucus. We're reclaiming ownership over our health. We're taking mornings that once felt heavy and making them light again. And beyond the physical benefits, there's a psychological transformation too. You stop feeling broken. You stop thinking, this is just aging. You realize that you can change how your days begin, and that power, that control, it shifts everything. Because ultimately, it's not about eliminating every discomfort. It's about restoring your sense of ease, about knowing that you don't have to suffer silently or accept frustration as your new normal. It's about seeing aging not as decline, but as an invitation to care more deeply, live more intentionally, and honor the body that's carried you this far. So here's the real lesson. Aging doesn't have to mean surrendering comfort. It means learning how to support your body in new ways, with gentleness, with patience, with awareness. You are still capable of waking up clear, grounded, and free, one small shift at a time. Now we'd love to hear from you. What's one small change you could make today to support your health in the mornings? Share your answer in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else who's struggling in silence. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating more meaningful content, because every voice, especially yours, matters here.